Hi, and welcome everybody to this meetup. My name is Justin Burton, and we have the privilege to have Jason Pohl with us today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the questions box there, and we'll look to answer them. But while we wait for these questions to come in, Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with industrial design?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on, Justin. It's awesome to be here. My start for industrial design started back when I was just a kid, man. I used to just always sketch things and draw things, and I'd be in the shop like trying to make stuff out of wood and whatnot. And I grew up in Mendota, Illinois, a very rural, agricultural driven place. Awesome place to grow up. And I grew up in the mud, man. And Yamaha and Honda were king. And if it wasn't Fox Racing or No Fear stickers plastered all over my four-wheeler and trail riding, I didn't want to do it, So I grew up a bit of a gearhead touched with some art, infused in there. And I had all the right tools growing up. I had great parents, and my sisters always pushed me to, stay motivated and pursue what you want to do in life and, use your skills to get to the next step. It was always climbing, what do you want to do next? And at a very young age, I knew I wanted to be like a designer of sorts. Okay. So when I was in high school at Mendota High School, I had an art teacher, Kathy Connor, and she was awesome, man. She's the one that kind of inspired me that, like, look, if you play your cards right, you could do anything you want in the art design world. There's so many different jobs that you could pursue in careers. So, didn't really know what direction I wanted to get into. I know I wanted to do 3D modeling. So I set out to go to art school, right? I'm like, I'm going to go to art school. And I don't know why I listened to this teacher. It might've been the fact that she rode a Harley Davidson Fat Boy and with straight pipes every day to school and would literally blow like the windows out of the place when she ripped by at 3 o'clock at the end of the day. But I paid attention, and I was like, you know what? I do want to take this art thing to the next level, and I want to see what's in it for me. And so I set out and went to the Art Institute right outside of Chicago, and I learned 3D modeling and animating, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to do video games, right? Because video games are freaking awesome. So I started working at Incredible Technologies right out of college there. And what a great group of people to work with. And I was an animator there, and I had everything sorted out. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. But I still wanted something more. I wanted something that was a little bit more tangible. Like video games had a shelf life to me. They're cool 1 minute, then the next there's a new game and, a new platform. And I wanted something that was real that I could put in my hand. And that's where I was recruited by Pohl Sr. from Orange County Choppers to go out to New York and start doing just that, So that's kind of my story, how I got started. I just kind of followed that path that others inspired me to, push my skills towards, and just kept turning over rocks until I found something I really, truly liked. And that was working with Pohl and all the great people at OCC. I did that for many years. And it was, it was a way to learn and do and create all at the same time. So it was a stressful time because, you have to adapt and overcome. And, our show American Chopper was played in 165 countries and still is on Discovery Plus, and was just an experience because you kind of got thrown right into it. And all of a sudden you have, like right there's like a camera in your face. And I'm like, oh man, what's going on here? And next thing you know, one thing leads to another. And I just recently kind of had a moment to look back and kind of prepare for this presentation. And I counted over 300 bikes that, I designed and helped create and manufacture. And it was just an awesome team that we had there. And I'm like, wow, where did 300 bikes come from? You know, it's just like over time, just grinding it out. So got kind of learned while I was under fire, you know, so to speak. And I appreciate Pohl and everything he did for me. You know, having this old school iron worker in your face every day at 7 a.m., kind of drill instructor type, like, you got to get it done. Like it just kind of sharpens you and gets you ready to do what you got to do, you know? So yeah, like the actors and stuff that I got to design bikes for, like Bill Murray, Russell Crowe, Will Smith, and there was racing legends like Tony Stewart. He got a handful of bikes, and Richard Petty, who was like the racing god and still is, you know, got him a bike. People like Muhammad Ali and Shaquille O'Neal got a bike from us, and Mark Burley, which was awesome. And Jim Kelly, God, who else? Michael Strahan, I just saw last week. He was on TV with his bike in the background, rocking it. Loved seeing that. But even got to design a bike for Bill Gates and Microsoft, and so many awesome like companies that are out there that I just forgot like this really happened, you know, like Nike, Caterpillar, NASA, Under Armour, Cadillac, Northrop Grumman, Sikorsky Helicopters. So many of these people, like Haas Automation, so many of these people gave us, you know, being in front of all these people, you got all these awesome clients too. So it was a place that I was able to gain a ton of design experience as far as engineering, design, manufacturing, learning to work with people and understanding what they want. I loved just, you know, being with the people and hearing what they wanted this bike to represent, and then somehow turning it and making it represent their brand and their company. So at the same time, I was able to like just travel the entire world. You know, we did these little shows, you know, and it was so silly, but we did these shows where we built like bikes on stage and stuff. And it was always positive, man. It was always a good time. And that's what I made it, just a ball of fun, because I think that's what work should be, is something that you're really passionate about, something you care about. And for me, you know, it's designing stuff. And I was able to see the world from Malaysia to Alaska and Sydney, Australia, you know, like so many different places, South America, North America, you name it, we were there, and I loved it. And still so much to look forward to. But yeah, so right now my screen is just running like straight up a slideshow. I'll go to the portfolio section here. This is this is my demo that I made of all these bikes. And you know what, Justin, all these bike models were created inside Solidworks. And so it was like so cool to be able to use this tool to do my job all these years and keep rocking all these cool designs.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, as in, you know, what really, you know, started this, which I know is our love of SolidWorks. You know, where did that start? You know, and what kind of ignited that sort of SolidWorks flame that you've got?
Yeah, well, it's a funny story actually. It was we were at the original building, you know, the building that didn't have running water in it, and I was down in the basement, and one of the guys came up to me and they're like, "Hey, there's some software guys here for you." I'm like, "Software guys? What are you talking about?" And so I went up top, and that's where I met Jeff Ray and Chris Salmers. And they were like, "Hey, we got something for you. We think you could really use this. It's, you know, it's design engineering software called SolidWorks." And I was like, "Solid what?" You know, and I don't know, I was 21 at the time, thought I knew everything, you know, and I was like, I don't know why I listened to him, but I did. And I sat down and I opened up SolidWorks, and it was like such a, like the light came on, and I was like, oh, wow, this is the real stuff. This is the real engineering software that I need to tackle all these big projects for our clients and for my job. So it just kind of snowballed into like this awesome relationship with SolidWorks. And I owe that to Jeff Ray, because he put it in front of me. And at the time I was using like more polygonal based, like video game stuff to do the models and stuff like that. And I needed something that was more real life engineering. So I made that leap to learn the software and the program, and haven't went back, you know. But basically, I want to show my website here. This is what's been running. So Jason Pohl Designs is my company, and I'm so pumped for it, because all these years and all these experiences, it's like I've been sharpening my design skills and my relationships and my partnerships. And I started this, and it's just a great place for anyone that needs any sort of design done or styling. I look at myself as a style guy when it comes to product design and just consulting services. You know, I can take a look at a model that already exists, or I can create a new one and get these companies back to making amazing products. I also offer 3D animation and prototyping. I'm actually in the process of building out my own prototype shop here, which is so awesome to say, but looking to do CNC lasering and a lot of cool stuff right here at my house. So other things that people don't know about me is with all the different experience with the Fortune 500 companies, I've learned what makes good brands and what drives them. And it's always the people inside those brands, but a lot of times it's about the strategic brand development. So I have my hand in that as well, which is super cool. And what else is awesome is me and my wife, we have an announcement, so to speak. And this little angel came into our lives about 2 weeks ago. And this is Emerson Patricia Pohl, and I'm so proud of her. And Mom, it's absolutely awesome. And she is our fourth baby. Okay. So here's my boys. This is Cashton. The middle one there, missing all his teeth, is Maxton. And then Kipton right here, my little redhead, rocking it. So that's the Pohl family right there, and me and Crystal. And you know what? Of all the like jobs that I've had, you know, I've had like started out detasseling corn in Mendota, Illinois, right? And then worked at the Ace Hardware. I was actually a mailman at 61342 Casual Carrier, United States Postal Service. Before I went on to college, did that for a few months, and that was a riot. But of all the titles and jobs, you know, from video game animator to, you know, Orange County Chopper designer, and now brand ambassador for Solidworks, out of all the titles, I think I like dad the best. It seems to fit me the best, and it's just awesome. You know, I love being a dad. I love this family. So wanted to throw that in on you guys just to kind of give you what's happening in my world right now, you know.
Well, I'm not going to be taking you back from that to SolidWorks, so you can do that. Right. You can make that leap.
Justin, one thing I wanted to show you is this new piece of technology that I'm adding to my shop. So I can take SolidWorks files and actually laser them out. Okay. This company is called Laser Marking Technologies out of Caro, Michigan. And these guys are amazing because I can just take the STL file, drop it in, and I'm not laser engraving anymore. I'm actually laser machining, which just blows my mind. And it's called the 3D Dominator. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. The things I'm going to be able to make are absolutely mind blowing. Here, I don't know if you can rock that, but this is that. It's my JP logo right on. And the whole thing was machined out with a laser. So I'm just so proud of those guys and the technology they got to get it, and just I can't wait to see what I can make with it. It's gonna be pretty outstanding.
I think that was something that when we met and when we kind of got into discussions about the stuff you do, it was kind of a surprise for me how much you really love the making part and like getting your hands on something that's real. Right. Have you got anything else that you can show us? Any like real things?
You know, it's like I wasn't sure if I was going to show you all this, but this is like just kind of things that I've done the last handful of years, all modeled inside SolidWorks. But this is the work in progress for the WWE Championship. make those, and what an awesome relationship that is. But yeah, and then here on my website, I just, like over the years, it was like, the restaurant, it's like, oh, I did a rendering of all that and modeled it all up, and here's the booths, and but just cool stuff, man. I made this hatchet with my buddy, and just, it never gets old. The power to design, it's like, I need to do it. It's like, it's just something that burns inside, that I want to create stuff. And I just love all the different projects that have come my way. I'm really blessed with some awesome clients that trust me and trust my services to provide,
I think we didn't rehearse this or anything, and you probably hate me for even asking, but there was a point today where we were talking and you mentioned about you modeled your house. I think when I've spoken to people in the past, everyone who loves SolidWorks, like I've done it, and I've spoken to so many people who have,
right.
They can't just leave SolidWorks at home. In the workplace, they have to take it home. So it's like you have to model your house, your kitchen, whatever.
Right.
I mean, maybe just talk about the house you're sat in right now.
Well, me and my wife Crystal were fortunate enough to be able to design and build our dream home, right? And so that's when I was like, you know what? I know how to do this. I can make this happen. So we set out, and here, let me find it. Yeah, you caught me off guard here.
Oh, you don't have to show it. It's like,
yeah, well,
trust it.
SolidWorks is like so much a part of me that like I always like used it, just even professionally and at home or for any little project that I was working on. And so what I did is I modeled up the whole house with furniture, and there we go. With furniture and everything. And I was like, I think we're going to do this, right? And so we were able to pass this on to the engineers, and this is exactly what we built, So it was so engineer nerd of me to geek out, but like even like the roof, like coming out a little bit, like I modeled that in just so, and the builder did an amazing job. So it was just really cool aspect of how SolidWorks is just connected to me, is like an extension of me. And, so grateful for it to be there for me, But
so we've seen stuff in the background. I think we've got like a lot of questions that have come in as well. So I definitely want to get to some of those ones. You've definitely covered some of the questions so far as well, but I think it would be good to give just a little bit about what you're doing with us now. So this ambassador role that you've got. So if you could just touch on that and maybe a little bit of, what you've done so far. I think that would be cool.
Sure. Yeah. So for me, it's just like to become the SolidWorks ambassador for industrial design is like exactly what I want to happen. You know what I mean? It's like SolidWorks is so important to me, and the software industry right now is just absolutely on fire, man. It is some really cool stuff that's available to designers as tools to use. But more importantly, it was like when I look back at all these projects, the one thing that constant one thing was like, oh yeah, modeled that in SolidWorks. Oh yeah, the Petronas Towers for the Malaysia bike. Yeah, modeled that in SolidWorks. Oh yeah, Mark Burley's bike, the baseball, Hall of Famer. Yeah, model those wheels in SolidWorks. And it was like a way to create all these like models. And Bill Murray's sitting at my desk, Uncle Bill. And I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm thinking for the wheels. And I'm showing him the wheels inside Solid, and he's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "This is SolidWorks, dude." And so I'm like exposing it to people that wouldn't necessarily see it. And as a byproduct of me being on the television show with Pohl and everyone is, it was the only show that was really mainstream that was showing CAD and CAM. It's like, what, what's that guy doing on the Wacom screen? What he's drawn in like 3D space. So it kind of shed some light on that. And at the same time, an honest byproduct of that was inspiring people. And, kids would be like, hey, maybe I should get into engineering. Hey, maybe I should get into design. And it's so awesome when people come up to me in airports or wherever I'm at, and they're like, hey, I got into engineering because, I saw that show and I saw what you were doing in the, on the SolidWorks and whatnot. And, so people come up to me all the time and say that, and it's like, it's just so awesome, man. And that's what's so rewarding about it, is like being able to, give back in a way to those people that, people like Jeff Ray and Kathy Connor that that inspired me and pushed me to be able to reciprocate that and have the time to focus on it and not just crush another bike design, another TV show, and like constantly moving. I love that too, but it's awesome to just focus and be able to mentor these kids. And being the Solidworks brand ambassador, I'm able to do that. I'm able to see the software ahead of time and just experience it and provide feedback. So at the same time, it's just so cool to be part of it,
Cool.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, what we're seeing now, or what we will be seeing is the models you've done in SolidWorks.
Yeah.
We know that, we got you onto the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, and that was like very, very new to you. So I'd love you just to kind of show a little bit about, what you've done.
I do want to talk about the platform because it is something to talk about. So this is the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. And when I first started about 3-4 months ago, I was terrified. I'm like, nah, I already know SolidWorks. I don't need, I am a master of SolidWorks, self-proclaimed whatnot, and I didn't think I needed to learn anything new, but, I trust the folks at Dassault Systems and SolidWorks, and they're like, hey, you gotta check this out, And so I jumped on, and I got to tell you, I'm twice the designer I was 4 months ago, because what I can model inside X-Shape is just so much fun. This was the first project I did. This is Wolfie. He's pretty aggressive little wolf. And this is all done with subdivisional surfaces. It holds C2 continuity throughout all the surfaces. And it was just the way I was able to push and pull and just keep moving and designing and creating, more edges and loops. And I just got into it, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And, I modeled this in no time. And I was like, what would it take for me to model this in SolidWorks? It would take a lot of time, So this was a tool that I can use. And this was the first thing I did. And I did it. I modeled it up, and I'm like, I told my kids, I was like, look, if you don't stay in your bed at night, Wolfie's going to come get you. So I'm like, you want Wolfie to jump out of the screen, And it was such a fun trip to model this, and it was just so natural. The language and everything, it all made sense. Extrude, it was all there. But I think it's human behavior not to want to change. It's like you get in this lane and you stay in it. You know what I mean? And for me, I was stuck in the same thing. But if you don't experience new things and make yourself better, you'll always be the same engineer or the same designer that you were 2 weeks ago. So making the jump into this, I was also able to design something that was really emotional for me, because I always wanted to do this and I just didn't have the tools or anything to do it. But I wanted to design a car, I mean, I feel like every fourth grader out there is like, y'all want to design cars, straight up. Yeah, I want to design cars. So it was such a trip to be able to go into X-Shape. And I think I started with like a sphere or something. And I just started pushing around all this different data, and I made this car. So this is going to load up here in a second, and I'll show you the car. Here we go. Now I like the dark.
He's got his black background on there.
Boom. There we go. So this whole car is one subdivisional model, right? And I just had such a blast making it. You know what I mean? And here, I even had I modeled it so quickly, and I got that knack-a-duck in the roof there that I just absolutely love, and just wanted something different and aggressive. Sorry, I know I'm getting a little spinny here, but there's the top view, and here, I'll come over here, and I'll just hide this first OGS, and then I'll hide the wheel OGS as well. And I came in here and I did an entire, dashboard and seats. I wanted to see seats that were different than all the other cars and all the other seats that I've ever seen. So I put these weird armrest things on them. And it was just such a cool experience to just be able to jam this out and just something I never thought possible, of doing an entire car. I was always taught that it was major teams, and so to just jump in and do it. And I just had a blast, man. And then like at the same time, like I still use Solidworks, right? I still rock out in Solidworks. Like I'm super comfortable in it. I was able to carve up this surface and dump these lights in here. And then if you come around to the rear end, you can see I did these fins in the back, and I got the exhaust just shooting through all crazy right through the body, you know? And so I was able to use my SolidWorks skills at the same time, you know, and then jump back with the platform, jump right back into X shape and tweak like the hood a little bit. And, you know, it was just like, there was times that it was like emotional for me. And I was like fist pumping, like, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And for like a software to be able to get that energy out of you is just amazing, you know? So another thing I was able to do is just slice the whole thing across. I could get this to any fab shop. Any tin knocker is going to be able to put this thing together and start doing body work. You know, I know I'm missing a few cross sections in there, but what a great experience to be able to do, you know?
You also got some nice renderings there as well. I think we'd be doing a disservice not to show some of the art that you're able to create as well.
Rendering stuff used to take like 45 minutes and do it over my lunch break or whatever, or set it the night before. But using Visualize, it's just amazing, man. So I got the car in here, and right now you don't even know it, but it just rendered that whole scene. I got this Box Technologies machine. I'm rocking a AMD Ryzen with NVIDIA's latest gear, and this thing just cooks. The rendering's done. It's like, what do you want? 4K, 8K, 2 billion K, and it just jams it out, man. And it's hard to find a bad angle on this car, but I just absolutely love Visualize, and I didn't even know it was there. Because when you stay in your own ecosystem, in your own lane for so much, you can miss cool things that are going by. And for Visualize, that's one of those things, man. It's a tool that I'm forever going to use, man. It just rocks out these renderings like nothing, man. And it's just been a blast, you know? So
I don't want to cut you short on anything, but we've got a load of questions that have come in, and I think it would be great just to hit on a couple of these questions. They did say we were able to kind of like push that time a little bit, so maybe if we'll keep asking some questions and we'll go over just a tiny.
I haven't kept my eye on that shot clock yet, man. So I don't know where we're at. I'm just letting it rip here.
So people have been voting on the questions as well, so I'll go for the top one. Is like, what's the way that you go from sketches that you create? I don't know why I did this. But from sketches that you create to 3D, like what is your workflow for doing that? It's,
first of all, one of the main reasons like I wanted to get into this world is because Wacom has this Cintiq tablet, and it's just like, it's a dream to draw on. I love doing it. But at the same time, I really represent a charcoal pencil and paper. And so for this car, I did a bunch of sketches for it, and a lot of them will never see the light of day because they were horrible. But, you know, I always say it might take 20 sketches to get the one idea, or maybe 19 bad ideas to get to the one good idea. So yeah, I start with pencil, paper, eraser, and draw it up. Then I take a picture on my phone and open it up in the back of X shape. You can open it right up and kind of model to it if you want. But that's my workflow. A lot of times I'll refine things on the Wacom and kind of just go from there, man. But it's never the same method. That's the thing. It's always fluid because you don't know where you'll be inspired or when you'll be inspired. I have a little tablet that I draw on from Wacom, and sketchbooks everywhere, you know, even if they're ugly. You know, I highly recommend conceptual sketching and just jam your ideas out, and it's a takeoff point. You know what I mean? But each time it's different, Justin. It's not really like it's not like a recipe, like,
yeah, definitely.
You know?
Another question, and this one was kind of asked a couple of times in a few different ways, but what's your, like, if you could give one tip for an industrial design student looking to be successful in the field, or someone starting their company and wanting that success that you have, like what would that tip be?
There's so many.
Not an easy question.
Yeah, I know. So to the question, it's like I think it's what I told Cliff when I did his podcast, Born to Design with Cliff Medling. Push yourself, obviously, work really hard, obviously, but more importantly, learn something new every day. Don't remain complacent. Don't stay right where you're at. Learn a new software, a new design tactic, new markers, whatever it is. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions and learn from it. You know, if you're like, oh, this is easy to me, I'm just going to keep doing this, you're always going to be that person. If you want more out of life and you want to gain more, be uncomfortable every day and learn something new every day. You know, no one knows everything, right? And take that advice, I guess, and learn something new today, learn something new tonight, and move forward, you know?
Yeah, no, I remember you saying it on the podcast, and you know, I wanted to pick the question because, I love the answer. And what do you turn to for inspiration? What are your sources of inspiration? Like the car, like where did that come from?
You know, that's a tough one too.
Another easy question.
another deep question. For me, it's always been nature. It's always been my family. It's always been my life. You know, what's around me. Surround yourself by talented people. See what other people are doing. Learn from them and put your own touches on things. Don't be scared to come out with your new stuff, because trust me, man, social media can be, you know, a dangerous place when you throw a design out there. You kind of put yourself out there as a designer for people to peck away. And just know when people are pecking away, you're only going to get stronger and sharper, and use that to become a better designer and a better person. So I draw inspiration from others around me and from everything from structures in New York City to, you know, the new airplanes and things like that. It's like, it's never ending. And right now the technology is available for everyone to constantly gather resources and just become a better designer or engineer.
Yeah. So I think we've just hit the time. There are two questions that I will ask after this last bit, but maybe you could just bring up the 3D Experience World tab on your thing there to show us where we can get in contact with you.
Sure. So I have Instagram. I'm at Pohl on Instagram right here. And also you can hit me up on LinkedIn, Twitter, all the fun ones. But the newest one, which I'm super excited about because it confines us to the "these are my people" type thing, is the Solidworks 3D Experience user community, the swim community. So I put my very first post. I'm proud of myself for doing that right there. 16 minutes ago, it says. And that's where people can get in touch with me. And I want to be available for all the industrial designers. Any questions or anything like that, I want to be an advocate for them and just keep rocking, man. I'm just so impressed with what the men and women of Dassault Systems and SolidWorks have done with this new platform. It's just pinched me. It seems so surreal. It's all online. It's all right there. And it's accessible and it's affordable. So it's everything I think designers and makers and students need across the globe. So what an awesome place to bring us all together. And I'm super proud to be part of it, Justin.
No, we're really glad to have you on board. And the last couple of questions, how do you keep yourself looking so young and vibrant?
Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you what, being home the last year, I found the gym downstairs, and it's a great way for me. I have to keep moving. I can't have to keep bouncing around, and my kids draw that out of me. Now I have Nerf guns on deck, fully loaded at all times, ready to rock and roll. So chasing 4 kids will do that, right?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not sure 4 kids keeps you young, but you know. Yeah. And then the final one, and I think maybe this person has been following you in the past or knows you well. Where's your dog?
You know what? Lexi, my dog, my black lab, who goes with me everywhere, even to work and back, wherever I go, she's riding shotgun. She's my shotgun ride or die girl. But she's outside playing with the kids in the snow right now. We have lots of snow in New York. And I knew if she was in here and the kids were playing outside, she would start barking and ferociously wanting outside to get at her boys. So she's outside right now enjoying life. We're up here in the Shwangunk Mountains, about an hour and a half out of the city, or you could take a 40-minute helicopter ride from Teterboro to my backyard. So we like the woods. We got bears, turkey, deer, and mountains. So it's good. It's quiet, but my boys keep things noisy around these parts for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can go on for hours. That we do when we meet. All of our 30-minute meetings are usually an hour and a half, which is awesome. I love the time. So I just want to thank you, Jason, for giving us your time and sharing like some of those insights that you have.
Yeah.
There are loads more questions. So what I'm going to do, Jason, I'm going to share those questions with you. Maybe we'll do a post in the future answering some more of those questions.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Today.
Cool.
So yeah, thank you very much, and I guess thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. I hope it was enjoyable for you. It was for us. Thank you.
Thanks.